Hi, everybody. Orion wants to say hi too. He just came up here just as it was time to go live and let me know that he had to tell everybody else hello too. I am so excited, y'all. I know I'm going to have to say this about 10,000 times, but I am so excited to get to 700 subscribers. And I wanted to come on and tell each and every one of you, stop it. I wanted to come on and tell each and every one of you how much I appreciate you, how much I appreciate your support, how much it means to me that this channel is growing and that y'all want to see what I put out. So, thank you. Thank you for 700 subscribers. And there's nobody here yet, so I just get to keep talking to myself. Sorry, I just had a text come through. I should be talking so that the folks who come on the replay crew don't have to sit through minutes of silence. So let's see. It has been a big day today. I got up with the plan to go downtown to Portland today and protest, and we did that, and it was very successful. It was a very, very busy day in Portland. I'm not sure what that's about, if it's about the earlier time that we made it there. We were earlier than we've been in the past. I'm not sure, but there sure were a whole lot of people going in and out of those buildings today in Portland. But when I was getting ready to go, I saw the news that Jay had had an altercation in Denver. And so I sat down and watched what happened with him, and that certainly has given me some pause. It's concerning, however, it was also quite reassuring to see that the police did do exactly what we would hope they would do in that situation. And they came in and they came in and they didn't harass him. They arrested the person who was the problem. So that's great to see. I'll be curious what comes of it, what follow up there is, if we find anything out about this random Scientologist who wanted to leave or wanted to leave. I'm combining my thoughts and I need to stop doing that. Although somebody did say to me that they thought that he looked really worn down and that maybe this was a way for him to get out. So that's another thought. It's an interesting thought. Maybe that's the case. It certainly would be a way. Oh, thank you, Rika. Thank you. I had a meeting today and decided that it would be fun to get all dressed up like I look like a normal person. We had a great time today. It was so busy downtown, much busier than normal. There were people going in and out of that building constantly. Um, it was really, really impressive. And I think we had a great time. I am looking forward to, we're starting to build a really great crew of people. and we work well together and have a good time together, and I think that's lovely as well. And I'm hopeful that we can get a crew of a few more people who come down regularly to join us. I tried to print signs, little flyers to go out today. I tried to print little flyers today to hand out to people, and they didn't come out well, and I was running out of time. I had to make the protest earlier anyhow. So that didn't happen, but I was hollering the Aftermath Foundation number at people. Now I'm in a panic that I was hollering the wrong number, so I'm going to have to go back and check. Not that there's anything to do about it now. But we certainly got some folks' attention. They didn't like us very much. I'm really thinking that the 11 to 1 o'clock time is a much better time. Enrica, we can't wait to see your new signs and new things to say to people. Lisa had some amazing signs down there today, as she always does, and I will, once I finish up my finals, I will be working on some flyers or business cards or something like that we can hand out to people. Lisa's signs are always awesome, aren't they? Enrica, Lisa said that she talked to the Safe Portland folks, the folks that come by and clean up the streets and everything, and they seemed to think there was no problem with chalk. So one of the other things I'm going to try to do next week is to get a hold of the ACLU and see if they have anything to say about what we're doing. So, and on the school front, I've gotten another assignment turned in. Cross my fingers, because I have no security about how this assignment looks. I'm really unsure about it. Juan Chavez, yeah, I'm trying to not have to spend any money on getting this consult done. So we have a legal benefit through our employer, and I'm trying to look and see if we can get these questions answered that way, so that there isn't any expense to us for that time to ask that question. I'm hoping we can find a lawyer that's covered under that legal benefit. But if we can't, we'll certainly run over to Juan Chavez. Susan, thank you for coming. 700 is an amazing. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. It's so exciting. Here, take a puff. Rika, that would be great if you can get the information. If he might give that. Yeah, I'm so excited about 700 people. I can't quite believe that 700 of you want to come on and watch me chit chat to myself. Yes, as Marilyn says, Zenu Marlene, or as Marilyn and Chow say that, Zeno Marlene. Mind Candy, hi! And thank you for the congratulations. I'm just taking a Zenu Marlene. I can't sing it as well as Chow Yun Smut does, but I'm just taking a Zenu Marlene in celebration. I've got one more assignment turned in for my finals, which means I'm done to one last assignment. And my daughter-in-law is gonna review it for me tonight, that last assignment, and so I can turn it in tomorrow. So that'll be really wonderful. R.I.P. Doug, indeed. I got really involved with this community just as Doug passed. And so I've never watched his stuff. I should go back and watch his stuff. Everybody has nothing but good things to say about him. So I'm really sorry that I've missed out on it. Yeah, Susan, only one left. It's due tomorrow. It's just a final paper. It's not much to go with it. And then I'll be done. And Orion wants to come say hi again, guys. Come here. Hi. There you are. Yeah, I've heard such amazing things about him. So, guys, I thought I'd do a little bit of an AMA. If there's anything you want to ask, I thought I'd do a little bit of an AMA for this little watch party. That is just enough. Isn't he adorable? This is Orion, and he is 3 years old this summer, and he thinks he's a Muppet. He is my little Muppet. Yeah, he's a sweetie. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. Susan, what got me into Scientology? Well, I'm a never in, but I was involved in a Scientology adjacent group years and years ago. It was a small religious group, and the teachings were pretty much warmed over Scientology. And so watching the Scientology deconstruction videos have really helped me to kind of get a better idea of the bigger picture of what was going on and the way that things were done in our group. I hesitate to call it the cult because, I don't think it was high control, but my kids say, yeah, that's what you say. There were other people. Mine, Ken, you have 2 corgis. I love corgis. They have the best tushies. Although I keep saying Orion is in the running to take the corgi butt. His little butt just shoots back and forth. So anyhow, I watched Aaron for a while and I got really interested. And then I think it was about the time Aaron outed Reese by accident that I started to get really involved and watching more. And when I saw the Second Amendment protesters or First Amendment auditors, pardon me, the Second Amendment is a whole different thing. When I saw the First Amendment auditors doing the protesting in LA and then seeing it expand to other cities, and I realized I'm downtown twice a week for school anyhow, so I may as well go by the Portland org and do some protesting. And it's been a great way for me to get out of the house, to get involved in something else other than family and school. My youngest is 15, so they are freshmen in high school. And I've been suffering from depression for probably the last 5 years. And so I need something new and different and important and purposeful to invest myself into. And I really jive with the message that Reese and Tommy are saying. It's the connection piece is really the most important piece for me. It's the piece that's always been important, is connection, and that's part of the problem that I have with Scientology, is its disconnection policy, is just shunning. Shunning is bad in any religious group, but I think it's particularly bad in Scientology, and I can't quite. Thank you, Rika. I'm glad I started doing it too. I can't quite explain why I think what Scientology is doing with shunning is different than, for example, what the Amish do. Well, I do know what's specifically different between Scientology and the Amish. The Amish give children an opportunity once they become adults to make a choice. Hey, Cat AC/DC fan. I'm sorry you can't stay, but thank you for the congratulations. I'm so excited. It happened today while I was out protesting. I got home and I just about squealed and jumped up and down. I have to thank every one of you so much for the time and effort, and that includes you, Kat. Thank you so much. So anyhow, the difference between shunning in the Amish community and shunning in the Scientology community is, if you're born into the Amish community, you do get a chance to decide if you believe in what if you believe in the Amish principles or not. And if you decide to leave without joining the church as an adult, because you have to be an adult to join the church, if you decide to leave without joining the church, then there is no shunning. The difference is when you sign up as a believer and then you leave. And that would be the big thing that creates shunning in the Amish community. At least that's my understanding. I hope I didn't just opine for who knows how many minutes about something I know nothing about incorrectly. But in Scientology, of course, kids aren't given the opportunity to consent. They aren't given the opportunity when they're 18 to decide if they want to be a part of this community or not and leave freely. And I think that that's just, it destroys families, this kind of shunning, and it's really, really wrong. So put any other questions you guys have in the chat, please. I hope that's not the only one we can have. Hold on a second, guys. I will be right back. Y'all waited for me. Y'all are the best. I really appreciate it. The dog got out. My child forgot to do things that she should have done, and he got out, and I had to go round him up again. So I apologize. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being here in general, guys. I really appreciate it. And if do I like protesting, Susan? I don't necessarily enjoy just hanging out downtown. I don't know. I've never protested before, and I don't know that enjoying or liking it is something that I would say. I think what I would say is it feels fulfilling, and live streaming makes it really different. Having you guys there as a safety makes me feel more safe. Having y'all there to talk to makes the time pass. It doesn't feel like I'm down there alone. And so I could start out by going down and protesting all by myself, and I still felt relatively safe. And that is what I think is um, is what made the difference for me. Is I felt safe because I knew I was live streaming. Hi, Cordy. Thank you so much. So I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, holler and I'll try to answer it better. Rika, do I think the protests will continue for a long time all over? Do you think we can build enough momentum to make them lose their tax exempt status? The tax exempt status is a big get. I am not certain of how best to approach that goal. I know some people have mentioned we should protest at the IRS offices, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm just not sure. Hi, am I? Hi, I am I. Hi, I am I. Yeah, I'm so excited. It happened today while I was out protesting. I got home and I couldn't quite believe it. So we're having an AMA. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to ask. And I'm happy to report I got one more assignment in, so there is only one more left. It's due tomorrow. The assignment I got in this afternoon is due tonight. So we are so close, but please keep your fingers crossed. I'm really worried about both of these assignments. I know I say that about all the assignments, but I am really worried about these assignments. So Rika, give me a second and get a mint, and I'll get back to your question. I think the protests will continue at least through the summer. I think warmer weather will bring more people out. I think more people are going to be willing to protest, even in Portland when the weather is nicer. I wish I could understand the things you say to me because I know they're so important. I feel like I'm getting the finger wave like this at me for not having everything turned in yet. Keep in mind it's mostly done, and my daughter-in-law is going to look at this last assignment this evening, so I really can't work on it until she looks at it anyhow, and I'll finish up tomorrow. Okay, Rika, let me get back to your question. I think that the protests will continue at least through the summer, and then I think it'll depend on a whole lot of factors. I think it's going to take starting to really focus in on what the goals are and how to achieve them. Just like I was talking about last week. Was it last week? Being concerned about what we're protesting for and being really clear about that focus. Sorry, y'all, I get dry mouth from my meds, and I have to have a mint to help. I think we need to get really clear and focused on what the plan is and figure out ways to accomplish that. And I think that as the protests mature, we will get more directed at our activity. At least that is my hope. Mind Candy, you are really sweet. I'm honored that you were inspired to start protesting. Thank you. I don't know of any other Scientology organizations in Portland. Rika says there used to be one on Southeast Woodstock. I think you saw that. The Ideal Org is not that old here in Portland. If you go on Scientology Portland's website, then you can look, and they still have all the pictures from the grand opening, all the announcements from the grand opening. In fact, let me see if I can look really quick. Sorry, I went sideways on you guys. I can't see it real quick. Oh, come on now, guys. Hold on, let me fix the camera. There we go. Mind Candy, if you go look at that Portland Scientology site, there is the press release from when they did the... Yeah, that sounds about right, Rika. I'm thinking 10 years too. That's the number that popped into my head. You guys can go look at that site. I couldn't find it quickly. Okay, guys, we're coming up on 30 minutes. Any other... Oh, here's Susan. I'm worried about the false arrest will eventually make some protesters stop. I am worried about that too. I'm reassured by the response of the police in Denver and by the fact that they've been continuing to drop the charges on Danny and DOA and like that. I think that if the DA keeps dropping, if the prosecutors keep dropping the charges, then the police are going to have to get the message to quit bringing them in. You would think that the statistics of how many arrests versus how many prosecutions would one would think that there would be a statistic of the number of arrests versus prosecutions that would impact a police officer's review. I would just assume. I'm not certain. But I think that all of us have a role to play, and the more we focus in on what our goal is and how we can do that as a group, the better that this movement is going to get. Yeah, 2010, 2013, something like that. Rika, I'm curious, why were you protesting by yourself then? Why were you protesting so far back then? I would be curious to hear the answer to that. Yeah, the Ideal Org has been around not very long. Only a misdemeanor. Oh, that's good to know, Susan. They didn't charge him with a felony, only a misdemeanor. I wonder why they didn't charge him with a felony. It was so much equipment that Jay had destroyed. I can't believe that they only charged him with a misdemeanor. That's unfortunate, especially when they're charging our boys with felony hate crimes left and right. That's just disappointing entirely. I mean, I suppose we can take the win. We can take the win that you guys got to give me some more questions. We can take the win that they didn't arrest Jay, that they were polite to Jay, that they did charge the guy with a misdemeanor, that it was all caught on tape. Rika says, I've always been protesting cults, but back then, because I knew someone who got sucked in. Back then, you were protesting because you knew someone who got sucked into it and it made you angry. Ah, you grew up in a different cult. Yeah, cults are difficult. I think that everything's a cult. Cult is the root word of culture, so everything's a cult. It's just when it's a high control cult that there's a big problem. And Susan, I don't think it's about being smart or not smart. I think it's about um, what's the interaction and experience you've had with the police. And I know that I, as a white woman, always had a different experience with the police than other people. And once you're a protester, the police, I think, tend to see you by definition as aberrant in some manner. And so you become suspicious just because you're not engaging in normal day-to-day behavior. I'm not saying that's the way it should be. I'm saying I think that protesting in general, cops don't look real highly on. But also personal experience. I mean, look, white privilege. I'll tell you what, I got pulled over by a cop last fall and I was working, so I had clients in the car. My license plate at the time was not mounted on the back fender, it was taped to the back window. So when I took a left on yellow a little too late, so the cop was convinced I'd taken a left on red, and the sun was angled such that he could not see my license plate through the back of my car window, he pulled me over. And as he walked up, he saw the license plate. but he wanted my license and my insurance, and I didn't have access to my insurance right away. I couldn't remember the password to get in, so I was going to have to go through hoops to get into that, and so he wasn't thrilled about that. He gave me time to figure it out. And then he pointed out that I had an earbud in my ear in the city I was in, that's illegal. He left me off without a warning, without a ticket. He left me off with a warning. That's all that happened to me. I was running a red light. I had no license plate. I had no proof of insurance. Bye, Rika. Thanks so much. I've enjoyed it as well. Can't wait to see you this weekend. So there were 4 issues there that he could have written me tickets on. 4. So when that's your perspective of the police, that they pull you over and just go, yeah, that's fine, you just need a warning, then you don't think the police are a problem. And I think that that's a reasonable, it's just an understandable position to have when you don't see any different. So I don't think it's about being smart. I think it's about your experience and what you've seen. And so, but I agree, it's really disconcerting and disappointing to find that the police are not what you thought they were. I know I have mixed feelings about the police because that's my experience with the police. I don't get as afraid as most people do when the police show up. Right, right. Um, I don't know. I don't know if you'd be arrested. I don't know that that's always the case. There's plenty of people who have protested, even Scientology, even in LA. The more people have protested and not gotten arrested than people have protested and gotten arrested. So take that for what it's worth. Enrica says, protesting is legal. Know your rights before you go out there. And I think that's really important too. And that's one of the reasons I've been so cautious about everything I've done. I don't want to give Scientology any niche from which to gain a foothold to build a case against us. I don't want to give them any reason to call the police on me. I don't want them to have any reason to call the police on us. And the police were called last weekend. We got the police called on us. But to be fair, the police came by and they were calm and they were reasonable. So that's the first interaction we've had with the Portland police. Hopefully, it continues to be just a nice, quiet, positive interaction. Hopefully, they don't. Sorry, I got distracted again. Who's Portland Andy, Rika? I am concerned and have been concerned that so many of the SWAT calls that have been going on have been attributed to Scientology when there are people out there who will call a SWAT just for fun. And live streamers are particularly vulnerable to being swatted because you're there and you're live. So anybody on the internet can call the cops and tell them where you are exactly, at what time, and what you're doing. And so um I think it's something to keep in mind that protesting, especially protesting in numbers, is and protesting while live streaming. While I tend to feel more safe when I'm live streaming because I've got you guys there with me, that assumes that everybody watching has my best interest at heart and is interested in what I have to say. Mind candy, it disgusts me too, but you know what? People have been swatting live streamers since live streaming started. It's a big thing and it happens a lot. It's really terrifying. Rika, I will go read DOA's latest community post. I didn't realize I hadn't seen it, so I'm grateful that you showed it to me. We should never go alone. Yeah, I'm terrible about that, Rika, because I started doing it alone because I had you guys with me, right? I feel a little more secure in my wheelchair, that nobody's going to call the cops on a little old lady in a wheelchair. Scientology is going to ramp up the attacks. I don't know. It seems to me that they're not dealing with this in a unified manner. The responses coming in from the different orgs are so disparate. I can't imagine that there's any unifying anything going on. Some orgs pull their shades, some orgs don't. It's just I can't figure out how they're gonna come up with a unified response and how they're gonna respond when this just keeps going on. It's not getting any better. So it'd be really nice to start getting some people who know what's going on inside, turning the tables and giving us some information. Hey, Lisa, you get home? It was so good to see you today. Thank you for bringing all those signs. It must not be easy carting them on the bus and doing everything you do, so I really appreciate you. I got to 700 subscribers today while we were out protesting, so I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. So I thought I'd hop on and have a quick live with just a few people. Do an AMA if any of you guys want to ask me anything else. I'll give it a moment or two. Sorry about the hard candy in my mouth. Oh! You're home. That's great. Lisa, Rika says she couldn't find your stream today. You were streaming, right? Xenu Marlene, everybody. Xenu Marlene. I need to do that again. Is Little White Light coming on? Yes, it is. It's working. Susan, you tend to talk too much. I tend to talk too much usually too. I don't know what it is about Scientology or about live streaming that gets me tongue tied, and there's nothing I can think of to come out of my mouth. Will in LA got followed last night. I saw that several different people were getting followed in LA. Um, See, I think, so real talk here, guys. I think that protesting La Poubelle is a red herring. I think it's a wild goose chase. Not that we can't be successful at it, because we can, but I think that protesting La Poubelle is more fun and sexy than standing outside of Big Blue. I mean, the test center was exciting because it was right on Hollywood Boulevard. But what's exciting to do outside of Big Blue? Melody, we missed you today. I was so worried. I hope everything's okay. He handled that guy today like a serious boss. I was so impressed. I was so impressed. And the cops just handled things well as well. It was very, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Aha. Well, that would throw a wrench in the works, wouldn't it? I forgot I had an appointment today as well, Melody. And so we had to move it up to noon anyhow. So we're sorry we missed you, but I'm sure Rika will be down there um this weekend, and I know Lisa's going to be down at least one day this weekend. I will be done with all of my finals, so I will make it down at least uh one day this weekend. I think it would be fun to start coming in shifts so that we leave and then 2 or 3 hours later someone else shows up and they have to pull the shades again. I haven't heard from Mike. He usually spends some time downtown after we're done and then drives by the org to see if they've pulled the window shades up after he left. After we all left. Oh, good, Melody. I was just really worried that we miscommunicated the time and that you were going to show up and we were going to be all gone, which would have been absolutely no fun at all. Rika, are you going to be down there on both days? Seven days a week would be lovely. I don't know that we have a big enough crew yet, but staggering times so that they never know when it's happening and it happens multiple times a day and they're pulling the shades multiple times a day, I think is a great way to annoy them into having the shades pulled all the time. Exactly, Lisa. We need a few more people. Um, Melody, that means you. We need a few more people. Is it really going to start raining on Friday and then all through spring break? Of course it is. Of course it is. Faux summer always comes the week before spring. Faux spring always comes the week before spring break. That invariably happens. And now it's going to be icky again. Well, hopefully it won't get cold too. Your 10-year-old daughter is welcome to come, Melody. I mean, keep in mind there are homeless folks wandering the streets down there because it is in that area of town. And they don't always keep their language clean as they're walking around. So that wouldn't be an issue with my children because I already swear like a sailor. But I know that some people um, don't want their children to hear that kind of language, and so I would totally understand it. It depends on how hard it's raining, Rika. I haven't gone down when it's really raining hard, mostly because it's too hard for me to try and hold on to an umbrella and run the wheelchair and hold an umbrella and stream. I can't do all those things. You swear like a sailor, like a pirate, Manuel? Yeah, I do too. Yeah, bring an umbrella because when you're standing there in the rain, you do get drenched. Um, Luckily, the times I've been down there in the rain, it has been minimal rain, so I've been able to get by without any rain gear. You're a true Portlander, Rika. Yeah, everybody asks me when they come to the Pacific Northwest. Folks ask me about um, at least every third word, Manuel. 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 I said it right that time. Sorry. Right, Melody? That's a true Portlander. That's a true Northwesterner. My mom, when she'd come to visit, would always want to pull out the umbrella, and I'd be horrified. Horrified. Mandy! Hey! How are you doing? It's been a big day. It's been a big day. Have you been a busy girl? I saw Liz was live earlier. Yeah, and you don't your phone can get wet, just not drenched, right? Like a little bit of rain doesn't hurt it. Um you just don't want it all up in its business, so to speak. Mandy is modding all the channels. Hopefully it'll just be like drizzle. Exactly. Melody, say that again. My phone has been on the tub. It is waterproof. Cool. Rika, that's a brilliant idea. Duct tape an umbrella to your gimbal. I need to get a gimbal. I need to get a gimbal. But I think first we're going for the 12-foot stick of truth that I can put up above the shades to look into the windows. Hey, Rachel, how are you doing? I'm doing a quick little AMA because we hit 700 subscribers, you guys. Thank you so much. It means so much to me that all of you take the time to come in and spend a little bit of your day with me. I really appreciate it, especially when I'm still getting the hang of things. Rachel, I am doing amazing. Um, I hit 700 subscribers today. I'm doing really great. And I was protesting downtown today with Mike G503 and Lisa's Day Off, and we had a great time. There were a lot of people coming in and out. Um, and I got one of my assignments turned in. I have one left. Thank you. It's one of my favorite lipsticks. It's a Fenty lipstick. It's a really great. Fenty is such a great brand, and they have a. This is a liquid lipstick, and it's lasted all day. Doesn't move. Doesn't move. Doesn't budge. It's just there, and it's a fuchsia red, which is what I like. Yeah. Mandy, that sounds like a great plan. I've been trying to figure out when is a good time for me to be a consistent live, and this is the only time I come up with. I think getting stickers with the Aftermath Foundation number on it would be a great idea to do, and we could put them on the lamp posts and on all of that stuff we could do. Lisa says she's already on that. Making stickers out of it sounds like a great idea. It sounds like a great idea. Poster them all over the place on the areas where Scientologists are going to have to walk when they leave the building. So, they've got flyers all over the place. We can just flyer along with it. Oh, Manuel, that's a great idea. Lisa, Rika, look at this. Put in a QR code. That would be brilliant. Thank you, Manuel. That's a great idea. You're going to miss your kitty. Where are you going, Mandy? Bumper stickers would be a lot of fun. I wonder who does that. If somebody wants to look into bumper stickers, that's lovely. Make stickers with your QR code. And then what do I do with the stickers? Oh, put the stickers up? It's brilliant. These are all really great ideas. Mandy's flying to Pennsylvania for a few weeks. Well, that sounds lovely. Ooh, that would be so cool, Mandy. You're going to live stream that, are you, right? You're going to be back before the possible uh you're only going for a few weeks, so you'll be back by May. You already said that. I remember you talking about that. Of course you would live stream it. Of course you would live stream it. Indeed. Okay, guys, if there aren't any other questions for me, I know we are so excited about the trip. That's how you promote your Instagrams in Humboldt. That's a great way to do it, Manuel. And I'm so excited about the trip, Mandy. Rachel, don't be sorry. There's no need to be sorry. You guys get here, like Liz Ferris says, people get here just when they're supposed to get here, and I'm happy to have you here at all. Yes, Melody, we've already talked about having a meetup when they come, and that meetup would hopefully also include Ono Nora and Liz Gail. Rachel, we are wonderful because we have people like you supporting us. So just remember that. Thank you for supporting what we're doing so that we can go out and do it. Every little bit of support matters. Every viewer matters. Every voice that hears us matters. Getting the word out, helping us brainstorm, asking me questions on an AMA, all of that makes a difference. All of that makes a difference. Okay, guys. I'm running out of thoughts. We're coming up on an hour here. Just a minute, just a moment. So if there's no last questions, Rachel, can you believe it? I don't know. Squirrel Fluffer would know for sure. Fluffer Squirrel. Squirrel Fluffer. Fluffer Squirrel would know for sure how many channels there are. Or you could just go, I don't know if you know this, Rachel, Fluffer Squirrel UK has a channel, and on their community page is a list of all the current SPTV channels. Rachel, please email it. Mandy, work with Fluffer Squirrel on that. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's hard to push the end stream button because it always seems like there's going to be one more thing. But I think it's time. Thanks again, y'all. Bye-bye.